Hi, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 147, and I'm Lisa, your host, also known as Fiber Nymph on Ravelry, Plurk, and Instagram. Today is Tuesday, January 6th, so welcome to 2015. It's our first podcast of the year. It's also rather late out. You can see it's dark out. You can see out my window out there. It's about 8:30 Eastern. I decided to record tonight. It won't be processed and uploaded until tomorrow, but sometimes it's just easier for me to do the podcasts in the evening rather than trying to do them in the morning, because I get up in the morning and get going on things, and then it's hard to stop and do the podcast. So recording tonight. Oh, let's see. Let me say hello to some people. We had a bunch of people introduce themselves since the last podcast last week. There was Benita from Indiana, and she's also a podcaster. She has the Fiber Pusher podcast. I haven't gotten to watch that yet, so I'm going to have to seek that out and check it out. There is Susan. Either Susan or Suzanne. I am sorry. My writing is really messy. I do not know where she's from. Daphne from, it says the Sticks, so I'm imagining she lives out in the country someplace. Catherine from Pennsylvania. So hi, Catherine. She's kind of my neighbor. She's closer to the middle of the state, I believe. Barb from Maryland. Susie from California. Jessica from New Hampshire. And Caitlin from Washington. Not Washington, DC, but the state of Washington. So welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for introducing yourselves. What a wonderful start to the new year. So, all right, well, let's talk about some knitting. I have a finished object, and it's a completely unexpected finished object because I talked about it last time I recorded, and I told you it was something that I was going to work on every day until I got it done before its 7th year cast-on anniversary. The never-ending garter afghan of doom. It is done. Not because I got it big enough to fit my queen-size bed, but because I looked at it last night. I was sitting in my living room, and it was in its basket. It's been stuffed under my one end table. My end table has a cubby that the basket fits in perfectly. It was in there, and I thought, you know what? I am so done with you. I had finally admitted to myself, I was no longer enjoying this project. The idea of the giant Afghan finished product was great. Like, I loved the idea of it, but there was just no way I was ever going to finish it because it just wasn't fun anymore. I think that kind of Afghan is a cool kind of Afghan. I've seen finished ones and they look great. I just do not have the wherewithal to do one, not that size. So I decided that last night that I was done with it. I was not going to finish it. I was just going to bind it off and call it finished for whatever it was. And so this morning, that is what I did. So I'm going to show this to you as best I can. And I can't tell you how much I laughed over this once I got this finished today. I'm going to stand up. So here it is in its crazy, weird glory. Okay, here it is. First of all, you can see how wide it is. It's almost 3 feet wide, I would say. I don't know. It depends on how you measure it, if you stretch it or not. It's probably about 3 feet wide. Lengthwise, okay, so here's the one end, and this isn't really counting fringe. I still need to trim the fringe, and I have some ends I need to weave into. But here's where it starts, and then here's where it continues. Oh, and there's a big hole. Oh my gosh, there's a huge hole. I just found a hole in this stupid Afghan. I'm going to have to fix that. I wonder what that's from. It's okay. It'll be easy to fix. But anyway, continuing down. More. Yes, more. Oh, there's more. And here we go some more. Oh, wait. We're not done yet. A little more. Oh, wait. And finally, here's the other end with the fringe. Seriously, can you see why I am so done with this? I don't know what I just dropped. It was probably something important. Oh, okay. Yeah. Can you see why I'm done with this? I can't believe there's a freaking hole in it. This thing, I laid it out on my living room floor this morning after I bound it off. I posted pictures on Instagram. It is 9 feet 5 inches long. 9 feet 5 inches long, not counting the fringe. Okay, and I told you it's approximately 3 feet across. I did some crazy calculations to try to figure out how much yarn I used in this thing just to get it this size. And I'm not even going to bore you with the calculations. It has to do with like the the formula for figuring out circumference and pi and all kinds of things, because basically a stitch is a circle, so you can do it that way. I used approximately 3,280 yards in this Afghan, just having it be 3 feet wide. Can you imagine if I would have more than doubled that? I mean, this thing weighs a ton as it is. It really does. It's funny. When I posted it to Instagram, I was saying, like, it's either the world's largest shawl, because I did when I was done with it, I draped it around myself, and it like drapes around me, goes to the floor, and then is laying on the floor. It's huge. It can be the world's largest shawl. It could be a runway cozy. Some people were also offering some suggestions as to what it could be. I think Amy from Ross Farm mentioned that it could be a shawl for the dinosaur. There's this huge dinosaur statue outside of the Carnegie Museum of Natural Science and History down in Oakland. I think that's the name of the museum. Anyway, and they yarn bomb it with a scarf every year. He wears a scarf every winter. I could put a whole shawl on this dinosaur. I think it's a brontosaurus. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and somebody said it would rival the scarves worn by, what's the guy's name? He's a musician. I don't remember. Somebody who wears really crazy stuff. Anyway, I laughed because it would actually be a perfect couch blanket on my couch. Like if one person was sitting at one end of the couch and the other person was sitting at the other end of the couch, and you like had your backs on the outside and your feet facing in towards the middle of the couch, you could lay this Afghan perfectly down the middle and it would cover both people. Okay? It would cover both, because it's actually the perfect width for one body. So it could be, a unique, like, tandem Afghan. It's probably going to just be something that I wrap up in, or actually after I finished it, I was sitting in my chair and my feet were up on the ottoman, and I kind of had it doubled over lengthwise, and it was nice and warm. So I don't know. It's done. I'm calling it done. I have no desire to work on it ever again. My only thing now is I have leftover yarn, because I was obviously not done using all the yarn I had for it. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because a lot of it's really nice. Some of it I will probably never use. Like if you look at it, you can see, let me see if I can find some to show you. There are a variety of yarns, but can you see, like here, there's yarn that has some real sparkly stuff in it. And I'm not against sparkly stuff, but this was yarn that had not pleasant sparkly stuff. It's like not all that soft. So I will probably not even worry about using up those yarns, but the rest of it's wool. I mean, it's really nice wool, soft, squishy. So I have ideas. I may just make a whole bunch of scarves or something. I don't know. The idea of holding on to that many partial skeins of yarn kind of makes me twitch, because there's got to be at least 2 dozen, I would say. At least 18 to 2 dozen skeins of yarn. So I got to figure out something to do with them, because I don't want to just shove them in my stash and leave them there forever. But anyway, the never-ending garter stitch Afghan of Doom is ended. So I guess it's no longer the never-ending. It is done. And I am so relieved. Life is too short to knit things that you are not enjoying. I've said that before. I will always say that. It is just a cardinal rule for me. If you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't be knitting it. Usually. There are a few exceptions, but very, very few. Something that big? No. So that's done. That's my only finished object this week. I have worked on other things though. I've got my Christmas Eve scrappy socks, which I've made some progress on both of them. So this one, I was on this section last time you saw it. Okay, so the yarns I have added. This one is some Sanguine Griffin in the purple hair streak colorway. And I used this for a Nefertum shawl. This, I was super excited to find this little ball of yarn because this is yarn from the very first pair of socks I ever knit. I think I have another little ball of it too because there was actually some red in this as well. Like you can actually see a little fleck of red on this side, but there was actually sort of a red stripy section in it. I was so excited to have that because that's an awesome thing to have in this kind of project. And I don't remember what it was. It was one of those commercial self-stretch, like Opal or something, Regia maybe. I don't know. But those were the very first socks I ever knit. I still have them. They have holes in them, but I can't bear to part with them since they were my first socks. And this last one here, this is a section of, actually, it was a 5-stripe colorway that I dyed for my grandson. I made him socks several years ago, and I had asked him, what are your favorite colors? And I was expecting him to tell me 2 or 3 colors. He rattled off 5. So I put all 5 colors in the yarn. But the section, the ball that I had just had these 3, the green, the black, and the red. So that's what those are from. And I actually think this may have been some sport weight. But these yarns are all a little bit different weight anyway. They're mostly fingering. Some are heavier, some are lighter, so it worked. So that's the one. And then the other one, let's see, last week I was on this stripe. This one is what was left over from the hitchhiker I made for my mom for Christmas. So this was that test skein that I had dyed for the Zombie Knit Apocalypse last year. It's not the skein I ended up using, but I still had it. So this was my hand dyed. And this is part of another set of inversibles that I actually have a sample set of socks that I bring around with me to shows. For whatever reason, those socks, I've never worn them because they're gigantic. I don't know what I did wrong. I cast on way too many stitches or something. They could fit an elephant, but they at least show the inversible. So that's the progress I made on those socks. And those I'm doing on the US 1.5s, which I always do. I'm not really sure how much farther I'm going to go. I still have some yarn left here in my pretty little bag from Amelia. There is definitely still some yarn. Oh, here's the other little ball. This is the other little ball of that yarn that I was saying that I had made my first socks out of. I'm pretty sure that's what this is from too. Anyway, I've got yarn in here that I want to use. I'm just not really sure how high I want to make these socks. I don't wear knee socks, and even though it would be cool to have these be knee socks, I'm not sure I want to do that. So I think I'm going to go through here and I'm going to use the yarn that really, really does mean something to me. And then I want to use a single yarn for the heels on each sock. Like each one will be different, but it's just going to be a single one, kind of the way I did the toes as a single yarn. So we'll see. They're probably not going to be too much higher than they are now. But I've enjoyed making them. They've been a lot of fun. What else? I also worked on the ankle socks, although I don't think I worked on them too much more than when you saw it last time. I'm still on the heel flap. So that's how much of the heel flap I have. I have a little bit more of the heel flap to go. Then I can do the I can turn the heel and start picking up, but that's all the farther I got on that. And this is the Leading Men Fiber Arts Sucker Punch colorway in the Showstopper base. So that has not gotten a whole ton of work, but a little bit. I did, however, cast something on, and I decided since I had done a Christmas Eve cast on, I wanted to do a New Year's cast on as well. And I cast this on New Year's Eve. And the pattern, I actually meant to tell you about this pattern last week because I won it. Um, this is the Another Door Opens pattern by Sarah Bauer, which you've probably heard mentioned on other podcasts because she was doing drawings, or other podcasts were doing drawings for this through her. This is Sarah Pomegranate on Ravelry. But on the Knitting in Circles podcast with Amy and Darren, they were one of the podcasts giving a copy of the, or doing a drawing for a copy of the pattern. And I entered theirs and I won it. I don't usually enter contests on other podcasters' podcasts. I just don't tend to do that much anymore. A lot of times because I'm giving away the same things or I already have them or whatever. But I hadn't had this one, and I love the idea of another door opening. It's kind of my whole, it goes along with my whole theme for this year of, you know, last year's over, it's done. I'm starting over new. You know, things have ended, things closed in 2014. Now it's time to look to the future and see things opening up, new things. So I decided I wanted to cast this on New Year's Eve day, and I did. It's a really cleverly written pattern. She had, I mean, it's very simple so far, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. But she uses this chart method that you count down each row, and it tells you like how far you are. I'm approximately 15% finished at this point, so that's pretty cool. The yarn I decided to use was from Three Irish Girls. And I purchased this a few years ago. This is the Adorned Sock Base, which is an 80/20 merino, superwash merino nylon. I'm assuming superwash. It doesn't specify, but I'm assuming. This was a limited edition colorway that 20% of the sale price of that skein went directly to helping families who have lost a baby. I don't remember the name of the organization, but the colorway name was You Are My Sunshine. So here is the yarn. Very, very pretty, very blues and yellow, and you get some, you know, where the colors meet, the yellow and the blue creates some green. Very, very pretty. And here is the start of my shawl. So obviously it goes this way. Come on. So the center sections in here on either side of the center spine are garter, and then these two outside sections are stockinette. And you've got the eyelet lace, you know, the yarn over part on the top. Triangular, it's kind of a triangular shawl. It branches out into another shape as it goes down, so I'll be interested to see how that does that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the yarn. So, I mean, I told you what it was, but the reason I chose this yarn, you know, when it was being sold, as I said, it was to help raise money for an organization that supports families who have lost a baby. I have never lost a baby, thankfully. I'm very thankful for that. I know families who have. The reason I purchased this yarn, aside from just helping out with that charity, was the fact that this came out either right when or right after my oldest son left for his second deployment to Afghanistan. And that was what was on my mind, because even though that's not exactly what this charity deals with, they're talking about actually losing an infant, I'm assuming in pregnancy or in like infanthood. I was looking at sending my oldest baby away to Afghanistan, and I just remember thinking, you know, I'm going to buy this yarn. And I held on to it. I had it in a yarn bowl the whole time he was, or maybe not a yarn bowl. I had it in a pretty bowl the whole time he was gone. And my theory was that if for some reason he didn't come back, I would knit something in his memory. And if he did come back, then I would have the yarn and I could knit something really pretty in celebration of the fact that I still had my baby. He did indeed come back, thank God. I never actually knit with the yarn yet, but when I saw this pattern, I decided that I thought this yarn would be the perfect match for that. I originally thought I was going to use hand spun to knit this shawl, and I may make another one out of hand spun at some point, but I really wanted to use this yarn because it was a combination of hope, you know, another door opening, and you know, just the the return of my son from when he was over in Afghanistan. I mean, he's not even in the Marines anymore, so this has been a couple of years, but still, it just all came together. And also, the You Are My Sunshine has a lot of meaning to me, apart from my son. And I'm not even going to go into it, but this tattoo that I have here, the sun part of this tattoo was inspired by that. You Are My Sunshine, and it has to do with a very important person in my life. And there's just a lot of hope built into that. And I just wanted to knit this project at the beginning of this year, in anticipation of just having hope and having good thoughts for a new year that is full of potential. So that's kind of, I hope that made sense a little bit anyway. But that's where that all came from. And I'm enjoying the shawl. It's really fun. I like the pattern a lot. So I will continue to work on that and continue to have hope. And I'm knitting that on US 6 needles. So I think that was it. I didn't do any spinning at all this week. I just didn't really have time. But we do have the November, December knit along. The Giving KAL is finished. I just am amazed at how many people participated in that, and that is awesome. Like I told you, I think we had 470 some people enter that. I totally got behind on going through and checking to make sure everybody's project met the specifications of cast on and bind off dates and all of that. So what I did is I went ahead and I did the drawings. There's going to be 3 winners from the finished object thread. That was the no chatter thread. I've already drawn them and I've already checked to make sure that their projects qualified. So we're good there. So let me tell you a little bit about the prizes, and then I will tell you who won them. The first prize that we have was donated by a very generous viewer, Amanda, who is Graebel, Graebel on Ravelry. She had written to me and asked if she could donate a pattern originally for the 9 weeks of the 9 weeks of giving. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, it's late. Can I just remind you that it's late? I'm trying to get to the right group so that I'm saying this correctly. Oh my goodness. Sorry, hang in there. Yeah, the 9 weeks of giving that we did. That was the one that I was drawing patterns every week for winners. Well, she had originally offered to donate this as one of those prizes. But since I had to put a $6 cap on those, I asked her if we could hang on to her prize and use it for one of the prizes for the actual whole November, December knit along, and she was fine with that. So her prize is pattern up to $20. Now, I don't know if she means just one pattern or multiple patterns up to $20, but it clearly definitely could be like a pattern collection up to $20. I will let the winner work that out with her, just so you know. I'm not going to get in the middle of that, but thank you so much, Amanda, for being so generous and donating that prize. So that's one of them. The other 2 prizes are yarn-related prizes. And the first yarn-related prize is this. This is a batch of hand spun. I spun this a while ago. I did not write a date down on my little piece of paper here, but this is a little over 1,000 yards of a 2-ply. I don't even know how. I'm going to say it's maybe about sport weight. I don't know. It's from the fiber itself was Briar Rose Fibers, and it's a BFL. I love it. It's pretty, but it's not a color that I will probably ever knit with. So I'm going to give it away. So one of our winners will receive these 6 skeins of this pretty rose-colored yarn, hand spun by me. And then the final yarn prize will be a skein of my Cheer colorway, which is, it was previously a club colorway last year. Well, not last year. Yeah, last year, like early last year. Inspired by the cardinal, the bird. And this is on the Elegance lace base. So this will be the 3rd prize. So I did draw the winners, and the winner for the patterns that are being donated by Amanda was the winner was also an Amanda. Amanda, who is Anonymous 76. So you are that winner, and her post was 273. I'm already off the pages, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I am. I'm off the pages, but you can go check and see her project if you'd like to. It was number 273. So congratulations, Amanda, Anonymous76. Please PM me. Let me know that you heard that you are the winner, and then I will connect you with Amanda, who is donating the prize, and get you two hooked up so that you can get your prize. So thank you so much for knitting along with us. Okay, the hand spun prize is going to Green Yarn 2. And her post was 251. I'm assuming it's a her. She doesn't have a name listed or a Ravatar, but she is the winner, she or he. Green Yarn 2 is the winner of the hand spun, so congratulations. Please PM me with your mailing address and I will send you your hand spun. And lastly, the winner of the cheer yarn is Lowell, who is LK Memphis, and her post was 285. So thank you, Lowell, for participating, and please PM me and send me your mailing address. I know I probably have it somewhere, but if you PM me with it, it'll get to you faster. Your prize will get to you faster. So congratulations. And thank you to everybody who participated in the November-December Giving KAL. It was great to see how many people were knitting gifts and things to give away. That was awesome. So had fun with that. I hope you guys did too. It looks like you did anyway. I wanted to tell you about a new drawing. Even though we're not doing a knit along in January, it's a knit whatever you want month. I do want to do a drawing, and it's sort of in anticipation of the knit along that will be going on in February and March that I'm co-hosting with Melissa from the Meltrians Designs podcast. We will be doing a stranded knitting, a Fair Isle knit along. Color work knit along, and I've already told you that I am planning to knit the sheep head hat. I've had this pattern, I've had this kit for a while. I ordered the kit actually from Jameson Yarn in Scotland, or wherever they're from. They're not actually from Scotland, are they? No. It's Kate Davies, the designer, is from Scotland. Jameson is from someplace else. Near there, I don't know, the Isles, some sort of Isles. God, it's late, I'm sorry. At any rate, I have all of these natural colored Jameson yarns for this hat. Oh, the Shetland Isles. Duh, it's Shetland sheep. But at any rate, it uses all of these natural colors of Shetland. So the kit came with a full skein of each of those colors for the hat, plus the pattern. Well, the thing is, each color uses about, like, I forget, it uses some really small amount of yarn. Let me see if it says here. Less than 25 yards of each of the 9 natural sheep shades of Jameson and Smith are used. So I've got way, way, way more yarn than I possibly need to make this hat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a drawing for this. Now, it will not be the actual kit from there. Obviously, I'm not going to order that. But what I will do is I will gift the winner this pattern, because I can do that through Ravelry, I'm pretty sure. I should probably double check that, shouldn't I? I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Hang in there. Sheephead. Yes, I can gift it to you through Ravelry. I was fairly sure I did that with somebody else one other time. So anyway, the winner of that drawing will get the pattern, and I will wind off adequate yarn for you to do the hat as well, and I will mail that to you. So you will essentially have your own sheephead hat kit to make the sheephead hat if you would like to make that for our knit along in February and March. I would kind of like it to be somebody who'd like to do that in February and March. Obviously, if you end up not doing that, then that's totally your call. But I am going to set the drawing up for that, so you can join that. I'll probably leave that drawing open a couple of weeks. let's see, today is the 6th. I will probably leave that open and do the drawing in 2 weeks. And that should still give me enough time to ship the yarn out so that you can start the hat in February if you want to when our knit along starts. So that will be happening. The other thing I wanted to show you, I had some new things that I forgot to show you last week, and one of them was that pattern, the Another Door Opens pattern, which I have now shown you. But the other thing I had was kind of an impulse purchase, I believe, it was either right at the end of the year. I guess it would have had to have been at the end of 2014 from Leading Men Fiber Arts, because you know how much I absolutely love Leading Men Fiber Arts. This is a skein of their box office base, which is their Super Wash Merino worsted weight. I have never had any of that. And this is the 911 Butterfly colorway, which the camera is really not doing it justice. It is such a rich, really yummy color. You're seeing a lot of brown. It's actually kind of a purplish, a deep plummy purpley color. And there is some brown in it too, but it's so nice. I love it. No idea what it's going to become. I'm probably just going to keep it and fondle it for a while. But I ordered this, and I also ordered, they carry bags from the Silver Shed. So I ordered a bag because this one had been there and I'd been looking at it and I wanted it so badly. It's mousses. Many much moosin. 10 points if you get the reference. But anyway, I love the bag. And I love these bags. I bought one of these at Zombie Knit Apocalypse. This is actually Amy's mom from the Stockinette Zombies. She does the Silver Shed bags, and I bought the bow tie bag at Zombie Knit Apocalypse. So this is nice big roomy bag, polka dots on the inside. They all come with this nice big long strappy that you can put on there. So I'm excited to have my moose bag. So okay, well that is everything I believe for the 90% section. Let's talk 10% real quick. Let's see, I recorded on New Year's Eve day last time. So New Year's Eve night was very quiet. It ended up being kind of a weird day because things I thought were going to happen ended up not happening, and then things I didn't think were happening ended up happening. In short, I was planning to just be home alone. And it ended up that my middle child, Christopher, he ended up coming over and spending the night. He'd been planning to hang out with his dad, but I guess his dad made other plans. And so he came over here. And we had the most delightful time. I made frozen pizza. Yes, because I cook wonderfully at the last minute like that. But no, we had frozen pizza, and I made wings. I did make the wings from scratch. And just kind of junk food, you know. It was New Year's Eve. And he brought his Xbox with him because I had made the comment to him a couple weeks ago that I was in the mood to play Skyrim. Now you have to understand, I do not play video games. As a teenager, when they were first coming out and arcades were coming into being, like, I didn't get into that. That wasn't my thing. I never had an Atari. Some of my friends did, but I didn't. So when my kids started getting into, you know, Game Boys and Xboxes and PlayStations and things, like, I would play them a little bit with them, but it was never really my thing. Now the Wii, like, I like some Mario Kart. I'll play Mario Kart occasionally, but it's not something I seek out. But for whatever reason, when I first bought them Skyrim a few years ago, or however many years ago it was now, I started playing it too, and I created a character and everything. Well, I was horrible at it. I reached a point, I think it was probably in one of the first quests, that I couldn't pass because I didn't have, like, decent enough weapons, and it was where you're kind of in those caves at the Bleak Barrow place, I think, and, like, you're trying to kill these zombie skeletons. They always killed me because I could never get past them. So he brought it over and brought Skyrim. And I started over with a brand new character, and it was funny because I'm still horrible at it. I'm absolutely terrible. And basically, I created this female elf character who, every time I tried to put like better clothes or armor or something on her, I ended up totally undressing her, so she's running around in her underwear, which is not helpful. And then I'd try to pick the clothes up because they're there, and I ended up like levitating them everywhere instead of just putting them on. I just, the controller, I just can't do it. It's not intuitive for me. So he always had to help me, and he was laughing. It at least amused him. Um, and the other thing is, I kept, every time she was near like a river or water, somehow I ended up with her in the water. Thank goodness she never drowned. I don't know. Whatever. She didn't get killed by wolves either, so that's something. I did manage to kill some wolves. But basically, that's what we did. You know, I knit. He played some other Xbox games that he brought. I played Skyrim a little bit. At, you know, midnight, we watched the countdown to the ball dropping. And pretty much right after that, we were both like, okay, we're tired, going to bed now. So that's pretty much it for the evening. I was in bed by 12:15, probably New Year's night. But it was fun. Had a good time. New Year's Day, again, nothing spectacular. Emma was away. She had gone to a girlfriend's house New Year's Eve night, and she was gone all day New Year's Day. Didn't get home till later in the day, so it was just a very quiet holiday, which was fine. She is back at school now. She left on Sunday, but Saturday, she and I took a day just to do something, the two of us, and we went down to Oakland in Pittsburgh, which is where basically Pitt and CMU and everything is. But we went to the Cathedral of Learning to visit, do the tour of the nationality rooms. And it's the series of rooms on the first and third floor. Each one is a different country, oriented to a different country, and there's bunches of them. And at Christmas time, they have them decorated for Christmas, a lot of them. So they have certain times where you can go in and tour. And it's just like a little self-guided tour. You get this audio thing, and you can go around and listen. And so that was really cool because I had actually never been in there. I mean, I'd been in the Cathedral of Learning just to look. It's just beautiful, beautiful, very tall. I mean, Google it if you've never heard of it before. Very tall, Gothic looking building with stone. It's just stupendously beautiful inside, the architecture. But I'd never been in the nationality rooms before. So that was a lot of fun. And it was kind of funny because the Christmas part of it actually didn't even excite me all that much. I liked hearing about the rest of the room, like how it was decorated and how that had to do with various traditions from those countries. Yeah, it was really neat. So we had fun. We did that, and then afterwards we left and we went over to Southside Works and had lunch at BD's Mongolian Grill, and then we stopped and did some shopping on the way home, and it was a fun day. We had a really good time. So, but anyway, yep, she's back to school now. And it has gotten cold. Oh my goodness. It is really, really chilly, and it was snowing today. We got probably about 3 inches of snow today, and we're supposed to have bitter cold wind chill factors over the next few days, so yay, something to look forward to. How is it that like we can get through Christmas with no snow, and then immediately after New Year's, that's when it decides to hit here? You know, it's like, I wish we'd had a little bit of snow over Christmas. That would have been nice. So I've got my fire burning. These cold temperatures make it really a challenge to get the temperature up to 70 in the house, which is where I had been running before with the wood burner going during the day. I think I got stuck around 68 today. It never got any warmer than that. But you know what? It's okay because I've got wool things. This is a Kate Davies pattern, my owl's cardigan, which I petered out on the owl's eyeballs. This owl has 2 eyes. This one has 1, so I always say he's winking, and I've never finished the rest of them, but I like it. It's warm. Yeah, I've got warm stuff, and at night I'm really never cold because I just layer on the blankets and the Afghans, and I am nice and warm, and half the time I get too hot and I kick socks and stuff off in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. So it's winter here in the Berg, so we can definitely look forward to January and February just being icky. It usually is. It's cold and dreary, and It doesn't usually clear up much. You don't get too many warm days. March, you might start getting a few warm days. I'm probably going to run out of firewood by the end of February at least, if not sooner. I've just made my peace with that. But honestly, this past month, I did a whole month without my furnace running more than I think once or twice, and that was at the very end of the month, and that was only because I wasn't here to keep the fire going. So I'm doing the best I can to be frugal with my furnace and my electricity. Oh, the other thing, the day Emma and I were out shopping, I picked up a couple of movies at Target because I've had movies that I wanted to get. I bought Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did see in the theater, and I love that movie. It's great. If you have not seen Guardians of the Galaxy, it is a really fun family movie. I mean, maybe not for real little kids, but it's a good movie. We've watched it a couple of times now since I got it. And the other one is Leap Year, which I realize has been out for a long time now. I think 2009, 2010 it came out. But I absolutely adore that movie. And I've watched it probably 2 or 3 times now since I bought it as well. So those have been my movie viewing escapades. Oh, what else? I've been playing solitaire a lot. The card game solitaire, not on the computer, but actual card solitaire. I get on kicks every once in a while where I want to do that. So I've been doing that occasionally, just to pass time. But anyway, that's about it. As far as shop news, I'm going to do the 4th quarter Fibernymph Dye Works finished object drawing because that 4th quarter obviously ended at the end of last year. So it's time to do a drawing for the $25 gift certificate. So I'm going to do that right now because I did not do that one ahead of time. There were 66 posts, which means there were 65 entries. So I'm going to do 2 through 66. And the winner is number 2. Wow, that hardly ever happens. And number 2 was Notable Needle. So that is Kate from Alabama. So Kate, and she too has a podcast. So Kate, Notable Needle, congratulations. Please PM me and I will hook you up with your $25 gift certificate that you can use in the Fibernymph Dye Works shop on anything you would like. So congratulations. I do have a thread started for the 1st quarter of 2015. So if you are knitting anything with Fibernymph Dye Works yarn or spinning any Fibernymph Dye Works fiber and you get it finished in January, February, or March, please post a picture of your finished object in that thread on the Fibernymph Dye Works board, not the 90% knitting board, and you will be entered in the drawing. So you might win the $25 gift certificate next time. Oh, okay, let's see what else. Oh, the shop is almost bare. Oh my goodness. Thank you to everybody who took part in the or took advantage of the sale that I was having, the progressing discount sale that I did at the end of last year. Yeah, it was between Christmas through New Year's Day. Just thank you. You guys really kind of cleaned me out. I mean, you can see my bins are pretty empty at this point. So it's time to start dyeing new things. And also my pattern sale. Thank you very much for those of you who purchased patterns from me. The next shop update, speaking of dyeing new things, the next shop update, or the first one of 2015, will be on Friday, January 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern. At this point, I do not know how large of an update it'll be. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a fairly small one, just because I do have a bunch of other dyeing I need to get done between now and then, and I had a very last minute event come up that I've been invited to, and I need to take some stuff to that. It's small, but I need to take stuff to it, and I can tell you more about that in the future. But that's a lot of the dyeing that I'm really focusing on right now. I do have certain dyeing that I'm definitely going to have ready for you for the 16th. But just so you know, it's probably going to be a smaller update than some future ones will be. Just I need to get things going this year. So, and I did take a bunch of time off over the holidays. I have to say it felt so good to have some time off, both Christmas week and New Year's week. I don't take bulk time off very often unless I'm actually like going away or doing something. So to actually have time off and just be here at home and be able to spend time with my family and my friends, that was so nice. I really, really needed that at the end of last year. So I'm in revving up mode again now for this year. So please be patient with me, but at least there will be an update coming up. So, okay, I think that's everything I've got for you this week. Again, if you were one of the winners, either for the Giving KAL or the fourth quarter drawing, please PM me so I can get you connected with your prizes. And other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to PM me or ask on the episode thread. I will try to put show notes up in the episode thread on 90% Knitting Board on Ravelry. Other than that, if you are someplace that is as cold as where I am, please stay warm. And just, it's a great time of year to just kind of huddle in and knit and spin and do all kinds of warm, cozy, fibery things. So anyway, until next week, have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.